Alright guys, hello. Feeling good, I'm very comfortable. You know, since New Year's, I've been eating really healthy. And today I cracked. Oh my god, and for now, it feels good. Like literally, half an hour ago, I was stuffing my face with cinnamon rolls. And it was amazing. It was genuinely the greatest experience. I probably consumed more calories today than I have in for so long. Oh, and I feel really good. I'm probably going to get a bit of a buzz on. I'm also downstairs again because I'm still having internet issues upstairs. And I've got a space heater blowing on me. Oh, it's like luxury. It's like life in luxury. Hello, Mr. Nashua. Welcome. So yeah, we're going to continue with the reality rifts today. Hopefully get them finished. I think we should be able to. And I'll try and figure out some other stuff to do as well. My whole week has really been one of pretty significant procrastination and fear. So I've got a script for a video written at the moment, but I've not actually recorded it. So I just need to buckle up and do that. And I kind of want to do that while I still got a buzz of a bit of a sugar overload. So yeah, I don't know how long we'll be going today, but that is the idea. Hello, Izred. It's good to see you. Kairos, Roman Tech, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. We've got a guild request here. We'll do that later. Right, so, yeah, starting out, let's just jump straight on in with the reality rift. It's weird. I don't do daily. I don't do the, like, any daily tasks or anything either. So, yeah, I guess we hit General, Explorer. We got only a few more in Ore, and then we're done. Some Living World Season 4 and some Alone in Regions to do. That's all, but Ascalon and the Shivers are done. Tarnished Coast, I guess, also done. Now, at some point over the last 24 hours, I lost all of my tabs. I do that annoying thing where I'll drag, like, I'll have Chrome with a ton of tabs. I'll drag one of the tabs to another monitor because it's a YouTube video or something. Like, maybe I'm trying to read the Guild Wars 2 wiki while I have a YouTube video on in the background, maybe music or something. And then when the day ends and I'm about to shut the PC down, I hit X on Chrome, but what I do first is I accidentally X out of the full window with all the tabs, and then I X out of just the single video second. And if you do that, your tab memory gets lost. It will just be the one video you closed out of. And I keep doing that. You can just press Control H and bring them all back, but I did that long enough ago today that I'm gonna have to scroll. So, in any case, Reality Rifts is probably one of the weirdest, most precise, stupid little things I've ever given you guys a story about. Enjoy. Looks like Wiki's loading a little bit slow, so just bear with me here. Alright, so I filter by zones with Wayfarer at the top. And as far as I know, I just scroll until... I mean, what map are we in right now? Dredgehorn, right? And that was the conclusion of here, yeah. So the next map is going to be Dragonfall. These are actually the first ones. I remember these coming out, and I just never did them, and then they were removed by the time I had the Sky Scale, because I played it quite casually and slowly. This is where we are now. Keeping tabs, close that shit, it's a bad habit. What do you mean? It's not a bad habit. It keeps valuable information. Very valuable. Right, so we'll just climb on up. I don't really have too many like stories or anecdotes or things for you guys at the moment, just because I'm trying to like do some real hard thinking about the YouTube channel more than anything else, and my days aren't filled with very much more than that. So yeah, look, like this memory fragment was for acquiring the legendary, and there was a Sky Scale rift near it. I'm sure there was. Maybe it was near this airship. Maybe it's near the moving airship. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Let me see what the description is again. Oh yeah, we'll talk about Lord of the Rings Online in just 1 second. I guess I have done a bit of thinking about you guys here on Twitch, to tell you the truth. Alright, so I'll just tell the full story. One thing, I've been playing with a few things. One thing I'm thinking it might be nice to do is shift the YouTube channel a little bit more. But basically, I was happy to just do Arena and a bit of an LP, right? as long as people were happy with the spam, right? That's what I went into this month, and that's what I went all the way through January believing. But people have been really enthusiastic about me getting even further out of my shell, and I think that might be a really good idea. I'm currently terrified that all the support I've just got on Patreon is going to dry up, so I want to make sure I've got good stuff for people. And they're all, you know, really encouraging me to push further. So, and I think I'd love to as well, but I want to do it in the right way. So anyway, I was thinking this week about maybe doing other MMO stuff. And I've had some good thinking quite a while ago now about other MMOs that I'm genuinely interested in, and I was thinking of doing some videos about those MMOs. But today and yesterday and a little bit the day before as well, whenever I look at those and I'm trying to script them out and try and figure them out, it's not clicking with me. Because we just don't know enough about these games. The most I'll be saying about them is just like waffly, empty hype. That is what it is. And what kind of frustrates me as well, like there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing like intelligent to do with that stuff. And what really frustrates me as well is if I try to learn about any of these upcoming games, Google and YouTube just slap me in the face with like anywhere between 5 to 10 other YouTubers that just they've made it their career and their business to just zerg around talking about bullshit that they cannot be that interested in. They cannot actually care that much. But, you know, and they're all sitting on their hundreds of K viewers or whatever. And I just feel like I look at it and I think, is that me? Do I really care about that? Is that what I want to be? And I think the answer is no. I really do. As much as I genuinely am excited about some upcoming stuff, I can't find a format that really works. Next, we're going west of the Whaling Basin at the small island in the water. Okay, the Whaling Basin. A small island in the water. Well, this map's huge. Let me just look up what they're calling the Whaling Basin. And like, I'm sure it would be a good career move to do that. I'm sure those people actually get like good money and all that kind of stuff, but I can't see it. It's not imposter syndrome, I don't think. Obviously, you're not going to see what you are until you turn yourself into that thing, right? And sometimes you just got to suck it up and go for it. But do I have a real genuine passion or whatever? Or would I feel like I'm being a bit deceitful, or it'd be a bit empty, or it'd become a bit of a chore? I think all those things are possibly true. So I've been kind of thrown through a loop a little. However, all right, here we go. So an island near the Whaling Basin. At the small island in the water. So this could be that. So let's go this way. So anyway, one thing I do know though is if I really do like a full gameplay series with you guys on something, I tend to then really love making videos about it. That means I can't just do like a catch-all zerg around covering fucking everything, and I would always be destined to, you know, not necessarily be, you know, riding those hype trains and stuff. But maybe that's okay. So I don't know. I'm thinking what I really want to do is stick with that idea of like do big gameplay series and LPs and stuff. And then if exciting things happen with those franchises, then I can make cool videos about them. And that's all well and good, and I'd like to do that with MMOs too. The thing is, I don't really play that many MMOs. I have a video coming up telling you guys about my MMO past. None of the games that are on that list really have great things going on at the moment. So that brings me to the stream. And I'm beginning to wonder... Damn. First of all, where this thing... Oh, no, it is here. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe we could do like a Lord of the Rings Online thing. Where, like, I stream a game for X period of time. And then once I've done that, maybe I can make some interesting videos for you guys. Like, quick reviews or lore summaries or... Darg was talking to me about maybe a supercar. Those kinds of ideas could work really well. And then slowly over time, I do have a base of MMOs that I can make videos about. And they feel serious and authentic and real. And there's something genuine going on there. And it's not just about surfing along without a heart. It's actually, hey, look, these were real experiences that I've shared with you in the past. I want to keep you in the loop about because I feel like we've opened a dialogue now, you know? It's that opening a dialogue, and I wonder whether Twitch can be a place where I do that. Twitch right now is, you know, I view the bigger fans really come here. I don't really think I put on good shows on Twitch. I'm not really proud of the shows I put on Twitch. I don't really value it that high ever. But I do value the people who come. And, you know, we're a tiny little part of the full Wooden Potatoes community. A tiny little part. So maybe I shouldn't be scared about just doing different stuff. I'm also thinking a lot of people have talked shit about Master recently. Not in like a mean way, but you know, when I did my channel update and I gave you all a sum up of everything I've done the past year or so, that's interesting. Those other orbs could have thrown me off. Whoa, the underworld is some scary shit, eh? When I did the channel update and I talked about everything I did, and I talked very briefly about the stream, it was never really on my mind, but I talked about it. I had a lot of comments of people saying, yeah, look, Master's boring. And that's fine, you know. I don't think that there's any other really great project that I would have been happy to do on this long term of a scale over 200 days. But I do think about that as well, and I think, you know, maybe people are looking for something a little bit else. Maybe going to the full 270 isn't a good idea. So, I was talking to Mike about this last night. There's kind of an idea where I could have the stream be a mix and match of content. Where it's like, I'll tell you what the streams are to me. They just let me ramble like this, stuff that's on my mind or on my chest, without committing to real plans. And not putting them in, you know, if I say it on YouTube, I've thought about it, and it's like a hard and fast thing. Here I get to be way more rambly. The therapy streams, that's what they are. So yeah, there's an idea of like doing like a mix and match. It's like do Master Monday, Lord of the Rings Tuesday, Master Wednesday. You could do that. But I'm a bit more project-oriented than that. I like the idea of having a start and a stop. So I'm kind of interested maybe at the moment of being like, right, we do a full week on like Lord of the Rings, which is an MMO I'm interested in. And once we've done that full week, we come back to Guild Wars again for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So the majority of the month, I'm still doing Guild Wars, I'm still touching base with it. But we have that period in the middle, and that period in the middle, I can, you know, I can put a YouTube video up and say, hey guys, we're doing some Lord of the Rings shit. It's like now or never. This is the full series. It's not some like waffly thing where it's like, hey, yeah, there's this thing that might be happening on this day. Maybe here's a complicated schedule to follow. It's no. Be excited about me playing this thing, this MMO, for this period of time, and then yeah, that's my fill. I'm gonna get my fill of Lord of the Rings Online for a week, and then we'll come back to doing Master. And when the mood strikes us, we'll do another one. But what would be important is that week of Lord of the Rings would be like, hey, here's some real gameplay and some real stuff, and it opens the door to talk about things on YouTube. That's like the potential. By the way, I love these dragon stand ones. How cool are these? I guess this is the home of the sky scale, so the devs went really all out. That mastery has been so useful for me with these. Look how crazy that was. Look at my map. This is the route we took. Whoa. Something like that. Right. Oh, Krakatory's up. Should we try for an Aurene weapon? Oh, you have to do like the champ train at the end for them, though, don't you? I love this shit. Look, people are doing fucking Krauk. That's cool. I do have a squad, by the way, and I am still on NA, by the way, for anyone who wants to do that with me. Damn, I'm out of 7-Up. From my incredible fattening meal of cinnamon swirls earlier. You can see Reddit threads about it. I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care about Reddit threads. I don't really care about the forum threads. It's kind of weird, like, all this stuff I've been doing lately, it's very much changed my perspective. You know, for a long time, I'd just become kind of subdued and sort of thought, well, look, I have a Guild Wars 2 audience, and the people who watch me, they're Guild Wars 2 fans. There's very few people who are, like, fans of me. There's very few identity within the idea of Wooden Potatoes itself. Like, I've always believed there has been that, but I always thought it was very fractional, very marginal. But I think, if anything, the past 3 weeks have taught me, it's that I was totally wrong about that, and that there is actually a real thing. That the Wooden Potatoes community is a thing. I know that sounds weird and wrong, but I think it does exist. And I think we are more than that. And now that I believe it exists more and I see that it exists more, like, look at all the Patreon support, I sort of just think, do you know what? The other stuff doesn't matter. It's the people who are this community that count. Which is a really liberating thing, to be honest. It allows me to quite seriously and genuinely not care. And I was already kind of in about, you know, external stuff, like a forum thread about me on the Guild Wars 2 forums or whatever. It was already a fact that I was falling out of love with that stuff anyway. Next one is under the Crystal Wing. Sorry, no, there's 4 here. So the next one is under the floating island south of the Fire God Precipice. So that's this island here, very close to where we were. In fact, I can just fly back there right now. It was already true that I was falling out of love with, like, seeking the approval of certain contingents on the internet. There's one thing. I think it's really unhealthy to get too obsessed with what the internet thinks of you, and too obsessed with comments, and too obsessed with your own self-image and all that kind of stuff. I think it can lead to real stress issues and real fear and real terrible things. Naturally, I've always leaned more on the side of giving a massive shit about that stuff. But if I'm slowly trending into a place where I care a bit less because I got some confidence in myself and what I'm doing, that's only going to be a good thing, I think. So I kind of like feeling that. Let me come down here. See what I mean? Therapy sessions. By the way, look at how great the colors are here. It might just be because, you know, I felt like Guild Wars 2 is the most gorgeous game in existence the past 2 streams. But it's because I've spent so much time playing it since the new year, upstairs on much lower graphics and, you know, with less frames and higher latency and all these things. I think that whole thing of seeking other people's approval, though, is a real balance because, you know, the other end of it is you're an arrogant, out-of-touch asshole, right? That really doesn't deserve any support at all, you know? I think you have to respect those who seek to respect you in some way, right? I'm quite communal in that sense, I think. There you go. All right, that's 3. That one, unfortunately, was much shorter. I feel like these should be the end game ones. And west of the Crystal Ring, slightly above and to the west of the Skyscale Roost that is located in the southwest of the wing. Okay, so the Crystal Wing is over here. The Skyscale Roost that is on the southwest is here. And our instruction is to go slightly... What exactly? Slightly above and to the west of that southwestern Skyscale Roost. So about there somewhere, probably. Under the wing. Oh, unless... Yeah. Well, it's either like here or it's here. It's beautiful and all, but the game's CPU intensive. Yeah, for sure. And tech's not moving as fast as I think I would have wanted to believe it was back in 2012 or whatever. Scroll up. Someone had some pretty juicy stuff about New World. In case you haven't seen or been told yet, New World just announced a new alpha and are releasing a dev blog tomorrow with new information. It might be a good vid. Well, they did a dev blog a couple of days ago, and I was thinking about doing information for that as well. But that's another one of those videos where I'm kind of half and half about it at the moment. New World, I made a mistake with, and that is not playing the alpha, I think. I was 100% on board with it, understood it immaculately, and I felt like I was there, you know? I felt like, yeah, this is my fucking jam. I'll cover this with people. But then I didn't play the alpha, and now there's just all these randoms that have come on like way later that have a better impression of the game than me. Who am I to put my opinion next to theirs, really? So I feel like if I did a video about like New World information, how is that meaningful if I don't give you all the stuff in the middle? And I can't really give you all the stuff in the middle without the experience of playing the alpha, can I? So I don't know. But then again, I also don't know how significant the NDAs are on that side of thing or any of that. So I don't know. The really long ones are for the Vision Collection. Oh, are they? So did I do these already? But now I'm getting achievement credit a second time because they weren't implemented before. They've done a few 180 since the alpha. Well, yeah, I mean, I did a video about that because that I felt like I didn't need the full experience to be able to comment on. You know, the 180 about the PvE stuff. And also, I genuinely feel it will make the game seem a lot more interesting to many more people. It's still definitely on my list of MMOs I'm interested in. New World and Lord of the Rings, the new Lord of the Rings being 2 of them. And I do have a list of about 5 more. But I have to say, that list, I'm genuinely interested in them, but I just can't see myself doing a video. It's just going to be like, I don't know. It's that thing, to tell you the truth, it's that thing that there's loads of other people already doing it. I'm too much of like a fucking hipster or some shit for my own good. I don't like that. I really don't. Like, I don't want to just add to that pile. So I also don't know, by the way, whether we're really high in the air on this one or really low down. So I'm going to try and come high up. Can I just take a second again to apologize how one note and repetitive all my commentary has been? for about a week straight now on all of these streams. I do hope that you guys are getting some interest out of this. I have to assume that since I'm not really talking about anything great, I've turned a few people off here, but hey, you know. It's a moment of transit for me, so we'll see what we got. Oh, dude, is this like the original, you know, before you've actually got a sky scale, how to climb onto the wing that I struggled with so much? You remember we were using the vines and the springers and stuff? Dude, this patch still feels so new to me. I suppose it is new. It's unfair to call this old. 3 releases ago. Alright, so that is all the Dragonfall ones, I think. Hey, Turtle Mudgy. I hope you're doing good. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm feeling really good, honestly. Oh, I'll probably be full of guilt and stuff tomorrow, but the mood lightener it is for me to just consume some fucking sugar. So tasty. What is the story with the char next to the cam? That char is just one of my characters. A few months ago now, an amazing member of the community called Chalakapic helped me set up some overlays and stuff for the stream, all of which are pretty much broken now, but one of their concepts was to have your player character on screen. They actually had some code and stuff that would mean it would dynamically change as you character swapped. So it should be Liss right now, but it's the char because I haven't changed it. I can manually change it. And yeah, it's back on stream now because I'm downstairs where I have all this set up. Upstairs, I never set any of it up. But for example, I could change it to Liss. Not in the same fashion was, but see. And we get Liss there. I think it's a really cool element. It's probably because I played too many of those like old schooly games where you get your little character in the portrait and they're just emoting down there. The opinion of Sir Wooden V of the potatoes will always be better than that of the unwood mashes. That's not true. And I know you know that's not true. That's Shatter saying that. Shatter is a cynical enough person to know that. Right, so anyway. Fuck it. I'm just going to read chat for a second because there's so many messages here. We can do more rifts in a second. Okay, there's the microphone in front of the space heater is really kind of warming it up, so hopefully it's not a big problem. You can New World stuff is a case of common sense not being there. Have I been reading comments in the thread I made about any of the new thumbnails? Not today or yesterday, but the first 2 days that I had left that video and that thing, yes, I was reading. And Darg was reading, and Darg asked in the Spud Club Discord about that as well. I'm lurking a shit ton on the Spud Club Discord lately, by the way, guys. I really am. I'm disappointed we don't have more going on in the Elder Scrolls room yet. I feel like I can't contribute just too much yet, because obviously I'm at the start of my journey with that franchise, but yeah. Did I try out Swiss matches? No. Didn't Swiss matches only just get added? Wasn't it a blog post yesterday and the patch today? I don't even know what the UI looks like. They didn't change the UI in any way, it looks like. Man, I wish... I'll tell you what I wish they do next. They should force you into using a guild team for tourneys. I know that sounds bad in the short term and like it will hit population in the short term, but it'd be so good. There's only one team here. That's the Insomniacs Don't Dream They Meme team. Scroll down. What do you mean scroll down? Oh! Oh, Dwayne's Duos is coming back. I didn't even know that. That's cool. Oh, standings. Oh! Oh no, this ended! Oh shit, they did a whole Dwayne's Duos. I didn't realise. Oh, that's a load of people submitted as well. I mean, it's only Dwayne's Duos, so overall this tournament probably wasn't that much bigger. Actually, it could have been, yeah. I mean, this was a special thing. And this was where people were getting the thing that was mined a while ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't participate in this. But this is a better panel for sure. Dude, fucking Barristan won. Good for him. I wonder what the comp was. OEGS played? Is that the real OEGS played that? Yeah, that's cool. They had to restart it twice and it didn't work. First rounds did work, but then not. Alright, well, look, it's a beta. It was a test, wasn't it? So hopefully people weren't too ragey about that. Does Master include titles? There's an exclusive one for Swiss testing. Yes, it includes titles, but it also has the caveat that anything impossible to get is not a part of Master. And since I don't have the title, and there's no chance for it coming back, I don't have it. Also, in general, I kind of culled a lot of the really competitive stuff away. I did try for like several months last year. And what content did you get in those several months? Like, fuck all, so... I'm not doing that again. Alright, we're off to the Domain of Abbey. We're going northeast of the Market Ruins. So, is that the Yana Market that it's talking about there? Which would be over here. Spear Marshal's Lament, Vitendi Academy, Market Ruins. Northeast, it said, I think. There's another one today. I'm not PvPing, guys. I'm not doing it. Sorry. PvP is over. It's not worth looking at. For me. As of now. Northeast. Oh. Sorry, that was my Skype. For some reason I was appearing online, not away. I mean, that's the thing. I could have changed all my settings and stuff when I was upstairs again, but now my social media things might pop up. In before someone's like, you're using Skype? I do indeed use Skype for some things. Okay. Northeast. How far northeast? I hate these ones in the brand. They blend. I don't hate them. I actually kind of love it, but they are frustrating to deal with. Wooden potatoes decladed, all caps, PvP dead, lol. What an incredible comment that was. I probably read it but hate it. What did I probably read but hate? Android says, any advice for someone moving out? If you're in the UK, my advice is to really get on early with whatever ISP you're going with, whatever you've got, to get your service set up at the new place as soon as possible, because they take fucking forever to do it. I was sat with no internet for like 2 weeks straight when I moved into where I am now, and it was awful for my job. Obviously it's not everyone's livelihood, but that is really, and trust me, they do not negotiate on that shit, so you're going to be sitting around for ages. For Americans that think that's crazy, it's because basically they have to tear the road up and put new people's cables in and stuff. Like, it's kind of a hard infrastructure thing here. But, yeah, that would be some advice. Some other advice, well, a warning to you, just the act of moving all on its own is, like, really expensive. Like, I went from renting at one place to renting at another place, and just all the random fucking fees that get thrown on and slapped around is just, like, horrendous. Like, it's really, so, like, if you're moving house to save money, like, this is something I'm scared of at the moment, right? Like, if I can't turn things around, if I can't keep Patreon going and, you know, make improvements, I'll have to move. And if you're doing it to save money, it's actually really challenging because you get all these upfront fees in the short term as well. So, be aware that that's a thing. And also, I would say, if you do have a little bit extra, pay someone or something to pack your shit up with you and to just get it done as hassle-free as possible. Because if you're like slowly stretching shit out for ages, or you're reliant on getting a bunch of friends and family over at the last moment, like, you put a lot of undue pressure on people, and I don't know, I never felt good about that. So that would be my advice. If you know you're going to move really long in advance, which I suppose most people do, just doing a little bit every evening of, like, packing can really help. Like, really, really, really help. So, yeah, a bit of both should make it pretty stress-free. But, you know, they say that moving is, like, one of the most stressful things you can do in your life. And I really, really fucking believe it. I genuinely do. It stressed me the hell out. It's the POI Market Ruins, not the Waypoint Market Ruins. Oh. Well, that's handy to know. Thank you, chat. So it's over here, actually. I guess we can just walk there. Oh, personal waypoint up. I just had a little moment there when I put that personal waypoint down. I was just thinking, man, this feature's so good. And then it made me think, dude, I love all the little bits of polish in Guild Wars. It's so good. And that made me think, because I'm kind of in a mindset of looking at other MMOs at the moment. It just really made me think, fuck, man, I'd really love to see another really awesome AAA MMO experience from that studio. Because there's all these little things that come with this kind of game that you just don't realise, but ArenaNet are doing so well. Or most people don't think about or appreciate. Dark says, Jules and Cobry had an idea. They said you can play the MMOs in pursuit of your perfect MMO. Yes, I'm going to sit here and summarise chat. Yeah, if I miss a message, guys, just copy-paste it. And I'll try to look at it next. I guess that's an idea. That doesn't grip me necessarily. But, yeah, like the idea of... I just like the idea of doing these little cells, you know, these little projects. Nothing makes me happier than feeling done with the thing. And, like, there's something complete and there's a ribbon on it. And it's like, there you go. That's why Master, you might think, well, Master's not like that. Why are you doing Master? But Master is like that. That's why I did the whole seasons thing. That's why I always said, look, Master will be a 90-day series. And if I'm really enjoying it and we want to keep going, we'll add another season. But it's a 90-day project. That's what it is. And we've done that 3 times now. But, you know, if I finish it and it's finished, you know. And the idea of having, like, a project, I get it. And it's like, what is the perfect MMO? I get it, kind of fits that into it. What? Master 2.0? You were talking a bit earlier about wanting to branch out, but I'm not sure if you're passionate enough about it. No, let me be clear. It's the formats I'm not passionate about. You guys probably don't put much thought into that kind of stuff, but it's finding a format that I genuinely really care about. I feel confident I'm giving someone something meaningful. Like, a lot of you might have the impression, oh, you can just make a video and it'll be meaningful. No. Like, I have to see what's meaningful about it. And that's the thing. I don't see much meaningful about view farming by riding hype trains. I don't get that. So you got to find like a format that's fun to make, right? You won't get burnt out or whatever, but feels meaningful, and also, you know, has this more mainstream appeal, right? So I'm talking pretty much purely about formats rather than gaming experiences. I'm a big gaming enthusiast. It's pretty easy to enjoy games and find things to love about games and sink into them, as long as you got the right expectations, you know what they're trying to deliver or what era they came from. All that shit's easy. Ah, you wanker. I should have looked. This is a really cool one, though. I should have ranked these. I should have recorded every single one of these and then done a top 10 Skyscale Rifts. I think this would come in at, like, number 7. We're getting some frame drop on our way back to the Market Ruins, but... you know, they weren't expecting us to go this way. You just had the Bone Skinner rib weapon drop. 25 gold. Nice, man. Speaking of which, I've got to get that tonic from the new patch. I got to do a lot from the new patch. The new patch has been pretty goddamn big. So there's so much for us to do on Master. But this is also the new patch in a way. So I think we'll be done with this today, which is nice. We can focus on some other Drakkar or Bureau Marches oriented stuff. I need to do the new Nimble thing as well. And that's another thing, by the way. I really like doing this. I really like doing all this content and stuff. I don't want to replace the streams entirely with, you know, other MMO stuff. Because where the fuck am I getting my Guild Wars 2 feel? It'll be like I was in 2018 again. Do you know 2018? I did barely anything in Living World. Which is why when Master started, we were doing like episode 1, 2, 3. You know, season 4 on its initial run through. I was like super casual in my consumption of it. And I don't want to go back to that. I really like this. Man, does anyone get that thing where they're like, I wish that the week was twice as long as it is? Does anyone ever get that? We just like, literally, if a day was a 48-hour period, I could get so much done. I could be so fulfilled as a person. South of the Vitendi Academy waypoint. Always happy to go back to the academy. Hopefully we don't aggro here. I'm scared that I might be about to. Oh, it looks like we have a party member who's standing in the locations of the new rifts. All the time, William. Yeah, man. I mean, I've told you guys this story before, right? I remember an assembly at school where a teacher came and did a big talk in front of everyone. Not just my year, but everyone at school. And it was a teacher that very rarely spoke in front of the whole school. Like, she didn't do many assemblies. She wasn't, like, in a prominent position or whatever. And usually assemblies were just, like, bullshit. But this one was, like, a specific talk from this teacher about, like, structuring your life. And I think I got the talk right as I was moving into my GCSEs, you know, which are, like, for Americans and Europeans that don't know what those are, they're kind of like your big, prominent high school exam equivalent in the UK, sort of. The thing you do before you probably consider ending high school. Anyway, this one's fantastic. They should have done more like this, really long ones like this. Anyway, it was this assembly where they were talking about basically the merits of getting the important stuff done first and then filling in with leisure time afterwards. Wow, this one failed again. For the ugly American over here, what's an assembly? Are you serious? Wow, assembly to me, I'm talking about you got a bunch of kids at school and they all go into a giant hall and, you know, at the start of the day, maybe like when I was in junior school, and infant school, you'd do it like every morning. Everyone would go, you'd line up, you'd all go in, you'd go into a big hall and you'd all sit on the floor cross-legged, and then the teachers would be in front of you, give you some speech. When I was very young, we used to have to sing like hymns and Christian songs and shit like that, which is a fact I look back on and grimace at. But yeah, you'd all basically sit down, get the attendance done, maybe hear about what's coming up, you know, just basic items of information, and then you'd all go on again. And then as you get older, you have less assemblies, you know, maybe they'd only be once a week or something, once a month. That's what assembly is. Anyway, so yeah, we had this speech. You know, they'd usually be standing there in front of an overhead projector or something, and they project like the lyrics to whatever fucking, you know, biblical song you have to sing today is, and you know, some teacher would be craning over it with a highlighter. Anyway, it was about structuring your life, and she got this big jar out, and she was like, okay, so this jar represents all the time we have in the day, and here I have a bag of sand, and here I have a bag of like ping pong balls. The ping pong balls are the really important things, so like your exam review, all that kind of stuff, you know, whatever they wanted the teenagers to believe was important. And the sand is like all your leisure, hanging out with your friends, you know, snacking. I don't know, whatever. I thought snacking there because I was eating those cinnamon rolls earlier, and that was leisure to me earlier. It was like, so anyway, she was like, look, if you do all your leisure first, and she pours the sand in first, and now you try and squeeze in all your exam revision, the big important stuff at the end, and she starts to put the ping pong balls in, it won't fit, you see? And so, yeah, you see, like, the shit's overflowing out. You literally can't squeeze everything in. You can't do it. And she says, but if we structure ourselves a little bit better and make sure we prioritize the important stuff that will take more effort first, and she puts the ping pong balls in first, and we just have our leisure around that, and then she puts the sand in, it's all neatly in the jar, and she says, you can do everything you want to do. I'm not asking you to spend less time with your friends. I'm not asking you to do less of what you want. I'm just asking you to prioritize. And I remember that one assembly, and that's actually genuinely stuck with me. And it is kind of true too, you know, in some ways. In other ways, you realize the things that you want to do are they're not ping pong balls, they're bowling balls. And you realize that, no, you can't have everything. Sorry. But that's a lesson for after you've left school. Bet she saw that on YouTube. This was probably before YouTube was really big. So, I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if an equivalent thing is on YouTube, don't get me wrong. Next. Center south of the eastern Mihan hillsides. South of the word eastern and not far off the ground. I have no idea where their hillside is. My Nightfall geography is failing me. Okay, it's in the north, in the center, I guess. South of the word eastern. I don't like these. Oh, no, they're doing it so well. Evermin G, you're doing incredible here. I don't like it when their directions are referring to the text on the map. What if I'm playing localized in, like, French? Was actually going to bring up this story recently on your channel update. You're still covering the same amount of Guild Wars 2 and managed to get work, play other games. Yeah, so that's kind of what ties me into what I was saying before. I always find myself wondering, because that story stuck with me. I always wonder, do I really need 48 hours? Maybe I just need to, like, really figure some shit out. You know, there's probably a way you can fix it. There's probably a way you can reprioritize what you're doing. My biggest problem in terms of efficacy and work and stuff right now is after I finish recording, or like this stream, right? Like, I'm having fun, I'm chill, I'm relaxed, I'm whatever. But as soon as I turn the stream off, I'll suddenly feel very drained. And I'll be like, all right, I've got a video, I've got a script, I've got to record a script after this stream. And that's my plan. But there's no way that I have it in myself right now to just click stop streaming and start recording the script straight away. Like, I really, really struggle to do that because I just feel so drained. I'm like, I want like half an hour to just chill or something. Like recharge or whatever. I wonder whether that's just fake BS I've convinced myself of and I can just push harder. For example, the Living World Season 2 series you guys are watching right now, I was playing around with that. What I told myself to do was to do double episodes back to back. So I would sit and record for 40 minutes to an hour, and instead of stopping to edit or any of that other stuff, I would literally turn it off, and I'm feeling drained and I want to stop, but I'll just be like, no, just go again. And I just hit the record button, and I did like double in the morning, stream, double in the evening. Double in the morning, stream, double in the evening. And it kind of feels like, because they're in the same blocks, it feels like I'm doing less, even though I'm... So I don't know, but that's a real hurdle for me. I wonder whether it's too much procrastinating between the two. Thing is, I get scared from all these different angles, because another problem with me is I do sometimes go a bit crazy, and then I get these big burnout periods, and I don't know how to see burnout coming. And I don't know how to fend it off and all that shit. I just don't. So I try to have like that moderation, and I don't know. It's hard, man. It is hard. I know it sounds like the pettiest, stupidest whining about the most simple shit of being an adult on the planet, but I tell you, in some way, look, believe me, I've worked 9 to 5 jobs, and I will tell you, in some way, as much as I hate that idea of like, oh, I literally have to get up right now because otherwise I might get fired, and there's that just horrible fear of just like, you know, being on someone else's clock, it feels like shit. In some ways, it's really nice to just add this like routine clearness to your life and just like this start and stop point. And I think it's something you can only appreciate if you go self-employed for a while. I know that sounds really fucked up, because believe me, I get it. It sucks having to get up early, to get on the car, to get in, or to get on the bus, to get on the train, to get off the train, to get on the bus, to get to work before 9. And then do it all in reverse exactly after 5, and you can't feel like you can leave earlier than that, otherwise you're a dick. And then you finally get in at 7:30. Just to go make a Guild Wars 2 Q&A. My life in 2011, that is. I'm just describing to you all there right now. That, you know, that is pretty shit. But it is structure. Okay, Domain of Vabby. Done. We're done with Vabby now. So I'm going to the Domain of Corner now. And above the Mastery Point, southwest of the Allied encampment. So I believe that we'll be going over here somewhere. You don't self-motivate whatsoever. Yeah, like me at school, I was always really bad with homework. Some people, I don't know whether it's like a parenting style or what, but some people just have that shit down pat. Like, if they got homework, they'd be doing it right away, like on the bus on the way home. They're already, like, getting it done. Like, what the fuck? Kids that get taught that discipline, teenagers that have that discipline that early, like, they're not going to go wrong as adults. They're not. And then you had, like, a lot of other people just like me, where we're just, like, dossers. It's like, yeah, we got to get it done. And not necessarily a great natural aptitude or intelligence, you know. So you just end up like a middle of the road student. But it was honestly, it's so horrible, the idea of like getting a thing done right away. I got a weekend for that shit.
More supplies to divvy up.
Hey, I don't know if you'll see this, but I just wanted to say thanks. I've been watching you for a long time and took a pause from Guild Wars 2 at the end of the POF. I also stopped following the Guild Wars 2 content. That's not to spoil the story. But every time I pick the game up, I always pick up where you left off. Before every Living Story episode, I watch your videos, the speculation, the balance, everything. And I just enjoy it a lot. So thanks. Thank you. Looking forward to your non-Guild Wars 2 content as well. Thanks so much, man. That's really cool to hear. I didn't realize people were doing that. I think a couple have mentioned it ever. That's really awesome. Like, that really makes me very happy and feel very good about like trader analysis and shit like that. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm glad that gives you something extra out of the game, for sure.
To divvy up.
So let's see. Near the mastery point. Well, I'm just going to start going to the blue dot. Oh, it's all the way up here. That's a premium place for it. That's a great location. Benji says, the old weekend streams were basically running around Divinity's Reach a few times while getting on a rant about something, tiring himself out and not wanting to make actual structured version of the discussion on YouTube, while also not managing to play the content. Yeah, yeah, a lot of it was more aimless running around, I think. Not all of it. But I think that's, in general, kind of true. Because Master, like, makes this meaningful. On the old format, I couldn't really imagine doing this. And, like, because just if you're just doing this all on its own and it's not a part of a greater thing, I don't know, I'm not feeling it as much. And so what did that leave me to do in the other streams? I mean, it was occasionally new content came out. We'd do stuff. Not gonna lie, WP, I was pissed when you said you were gonna do Elder Scrolls content too. Oh shit, we don't have... I don't know where I'm going. Oh, it is this way, thank God. Why were you pissed? What do you mean two? Oh, so you do it? Oh, listen, man, I struggle with this. I've been talking today about the fact I struggle with this, but you gotta just ignore what everyone else is doing on the internet. This is one of the most openly hypocritical things I'll ever say, alright? As someone who deeply, deeply struggles with that, you just have to ignore. Because the internet feels like it's like this closed off space where it's like only X amount of a thing can or should exist, but it is the world, do you know what I mean? And just because you can be easily thrown side by side with other things in the world, and it's easy to make those comparisons, you know, there is abundance enough to have duplicates and to have different interpretations and all that stuff. Like, logically, I know that, and that is the advice I would give anyone and everyone. It's advice I find very hard to follow myself. But the reason I struggle to follow it is because I don't want to look like anyone else. That's why. It's because I'm a fucking hipster loser that doesn't want to feel like he's slower than someone else on something, you know, not creative enough. Oh, God. We'll be okay. You can land. What am I so scared of? My own ego demands I stand out. That is literally all that I struggle with, really, probably, more than anything else. Like, I went to the zoo. Here's an example of this side of me. Maybe you... And the only reason I'm saying this is not in some... you know, pursuit of my own ego here, but you guys might... I'm hoping someone will feel the same. I might have told this story when it happened. I went to a zoo last year. And while I was at the zoo, I had a really profound experience. Let's see. Next one. Over here. Oh my God, this is so good. He's so fast here. I guess he's because he's tabbing through less stuff. I had a really weird experience at the zoo the other day. Not the other day, last year. Where I was walking around.
Fun,
and, you know, you seeing all these animals, right, in the pen. But the animals are seeing you too, obviously. They're seeing you through the glass or whatever. You know, the reptiles are seeing you, the birds are seeing you. the mammals of all shapes and sizes are seeing you as you travel around. The sea creatures are seeing you. But of course, and I don't know, when I'm at the zoo, you know, you have a sense that you're important in the world or whatever. You know, like some vague sense, you know, you are the center of your own universe or whatever. Some general underlying idea, okay, right? But you go to the zoo and yeah, you like stare at the creatures and stuff and it's all very interesting and you learn a lot. But what I found really profound, and I commented on with the people I was at the time, is that none of the, like, if I've ever had an experience in recent life that's made me realize just how, like, irrelevant my own existence is just how little of a shit any of these creatures care about me, right? As in, they spend their whole lives with random people walking up, oogling at them, and then wandering off. And so, of course, I'm literally no different. I mean, everyone does it. This is really fun as well, you go there. And you just get this really visceral, clear sense of, yeah, you are literally just another bipedal, you're just another monkey man walking through the crowd, just like everyone was every day before you and every day after you. You're just like a fucking nothing. You're just, you know, it was just a really, really profound thing of just like how little something cares. Does anyone know what I mean? And I was like struck by that, all right? It was like a little moment where I was like, yeah, man, wow. I look at these animals and it just makes me think, I'm pointless. That is it, but yeah, that's kind of my take, yeah. That's kind of a big thing for me, you know? I don't want to just be in a crowd. Fuck the crowd. Oh, New World just did their blog post, did they? Like a second ago. Yeah, it's a very egocentric thing to think and feel, but that is genuinely what I thought. I was like, I'm really interested in this monkey. Why isn't this monkey interested in me? Something like that, I suppose. Right, so I think that's our last cornered one. Maybe? I'll go there and, because did we already do that, or was that the other one? I'm so involved in my own commentary here that I'm genuinely not remembering what we already did. I'll go have a look at this. You really need to look at positive nihilism on YouTube. What's that? The sense that it's okay to be one with everyone else and not defining in any way, to leave no footprint. I don't know, that just feels so pointless of an existence to me if you don't leave a footprint, you know. If you do all the twee stuff, you buy your little house as expected, you get married as expected, you have your little nuclear family as expected, you get a job of a certain caliber as expected, you go on holiday once a year as expected, you die and leave a gravestone as expected, your family go to it and you know, decreasing rate, and then you're forgotten. Congratulations, you're one of the 7 billion. Like, fuck that, man. I don't know. I don't like any of it. I don't know where I'm going here, by the way. I feel like no, I guess not. Something about this map, it's tricking him. You know, I genuinely think if I ever got rich, I would love to, like, just for absolutely no point, just as like a reminder that I was there, that I was on the planet at some point, just love to like pay people to pile stones up, you know, in some massive, enormous barrow or mound or something, like truly huge. So it'll be there for like hundreds of years after I'm gone. And people will be like, ah, that's Wooden Potatoes Hill, that is. Or I like the idea of a pyramid. I saw a thing on Reddit the other day of a view above Cairo and the Great Pyramids, and how massive they are and how cool they are, you know, particularly because the ground everywhere around is so like flat and non-hilly. And I love the idea of you know, I'll commission a pyramid, guys, and it'll be bigger than the other ones. Just a shitty version. Well, I don't know, I mean, we have the technology. Okay, that's definitely corner done. So we're off to Istan now. So northeast of the Ceylan docks. northeast. I feel like I did do Istan. But, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Welcome to a WP Twitch stream. If you felt you lacked some more existential dread in your life, well, here you go, you've been served. I think it's healthy to have a little bit, isn't it? I feel like if you're really happy with your lot in life and like all that stuff, you're just gonna get complacent. And complacency is the mother of mediocrity. Alright? You can put that down as a WP quote. I'm sure someone I'm sure someone said that before. But I did just invent that. Patent pending. I feel like this is wrong. I don't even have a thing on me, so we'll go back. Yeah, well, I don't know, we'll see. I guess maybe I collected one of the wrong things or skipped one somehow. I suppose just grabbing everything in sight when in doubt is good, because you can, you'll clear the way, and the ones that are relevant will respawn and the other ones won't, so there you have it. I wonder how much magic you get from this full thing. Look at that! Look at that! Oh, this game! Dude, imagine if they had like really strong design shops for RPGs. They definitely, they got so much of the right stuff, you know, the art, the QOL. Incredible. Yeah, I don't think the stream's that highbrow. We are talking about monkeys at a zoo. Right, above the large telescope at the Astralarium. That seems pretty basic. Oh, I guess he can just look up where the next one is while I'm doing the previous course. What celestial body was that? It doesn't actually have a name. Lunaria, maybe? Because you have the rings, Lunaria and Solaria, the sun and the moon. But the devs never really gave us great lore about the moons. To this day, okay, guys, if you ever saw I made an RPG, alright, I'm telling you, one of the big themes of the RPG would be this, right? That you're on your adventure, and like there's a sense that something bigger and more interesting is going on. You're about a third of the way through the game, but you haven't really got a real sense of like the big stories yet. You're just like slowly unfolding things. And the story is happening in other areas of the world as you're on your adventure in tandem, but you don't know that yet. Maybe you figure this shit out through flashbacks or whatever. And anyway, just one sign of a really major world-changing event as you're playing is you're just in the middle of some like emotional beat, all right, or significant beat as far as your current stories are concerned. And in the middle of it, it takes place at night. It's a beautiful, clear day with straight shot view of all the stars and the moon, a bit like in the background here. And all of a sudden, the moon cracks in half. And you're like, whoa, what the hell was that? And maybe like 20 hours later, you realize what it was. And it was somehow more important. I just love that idea of the moon cracking. Obviously, that's not too novel of an idea. There's a lot of stuff that's had the moon breaking, but I think that's so cool. The idea of seeing it and where you were in your life at the time, and then later, eventually, it's like a really big part of the story. But ArenaNet doesn't really do much about space, not really. One of the things I'm quite excited about with Elder Scrolls is stuff to do with space. I actually read a thing last night that there's some kind of like, what was it? Did the Dwemer have like a space program or something at some point? It was some crazy bit of trivia I read that was hinted at somewhere at some point in that franchise, which is really cool. Right, south of Palawa's Benevolence, which I'm guessing is the Sunspear Great Hall's new name. No, that's the Warden's quarters and just the Modern Crescent. Oh, no. What about Palawadan? Look, people doing this meta as well. Palawadan Dormitories. Crucible of the Apostate. Oh, what was that over here? Oh, well, look, he's just there, so... Why am I... Oh, I should just let myself get carried. Wasn't there a movie where that happened, that the moon broke? Probably, for sure. The idea of the moon cracking in half, this is so stupid and weird, right? But the Seth MacFarlane lowbrow comedy show, American Dad, I was really into for a while. I really liked the show, American Dad. And they did like a Mad Maxy post-apocalyptic episode once for fun. And, you know, it had all the awesome 80s grungy fucking apocalyptic music and stuff. It was really, really cool. And skeletons and skulls and stuff. It was awesome. But they had a shot of Stan, the father figure in the show, riding like a fucking dirt bike over like the Nevada desert at night, and on that in the sky was the moon cracked in half as well. It was like a red moon broken in half, like a suggestion about the rapture and what had happened, the apocalypse and stuff. It's just something so compelling about it to me, just the imagery. It feels like it'd fit really well in any number of fantasy franchises. Yeah, Bullock is pretty great. I haven't seen American Dad for many years now, but I was very into it for a while. You didn't realise how basic I was? Unsubscribe. Dude, yeah. I like me some basic stuff. I watched the Dora the Explorer movie 2 nights ago, for example, and enjoyed it. Right, you got to know what their audience is, see what they're going for. I actually thought it was quite smart the way they did a lot of it. And just the right amount of tongue-in-cheek. I'm too old to have actually watched Dora the Explorer, just to be clear, so I wasn't a pre-existing fan. Next, we are going above Research Vault Beta, northeast of the Allied encampment. Research Vault Beta? Am I reading that wrong? What? That's what we read from the other map. Domain of Istan. Yeah, I was totally wrong. My bad. Oh no, we've just done all 3, haven't we? We've done all 3. And that's Living World Season 4 just dinged. So the only 2 I've got left are the Ruins of Ore, which has got barely any left to do, even though it looks like it has a lot. And just general Elonan locations. Okay, so we're off to the Desert Highlands. So we're going to go to Glint's Lair first. Did I not do Glint's Lair already? Maybe this was where we closed one of the streams. I feel like I remember flying there. Describing yourself as basic. I did not expect the example to be about Dora. Okay, here's a basic fact about me. I like pizza. There you go. That's pretty basic, isn't it? Did I see Parasite? No, I didn't. Now here's the question. Will that take me over? No. Would have been nice. It's nice to have Radial back. I feel like if WP streams were more popular, he'd be hashtag cancelled in a matter of minutes. What do you mean? What have I said that we're getting cancelled here? Benji is literally browsing the Pizza Hut website right now, for fuck's sake. That's pretty funny, man. If I could rename one class or elite spec, what would it be and why? Tempest, I would rename to the... I'm not sure what I would rename it to just yet. Maybe like Hydrosophist? I'd rename it to Storm Singer. Maybe. Something like that. Because Tempest to me is a fucking badass damage carry, and I don't like Tempest, so that's the first one that comes to my mind. I like a lot of them though, of what they've done. I'd be cancelled for not bowing before the great Mrs. Price. No, that's not true either. Well, I don't know. I mean, Twitch has one of those things that I think companies should be very, very careful about moralizing, because if you open that door, you lead yourself to like a forevermore battle of similar experiences that you have to have the exact same standpoint on, and you just open yourself to so much criticism. It's unreal. And Twitch kind of does that, right? Like, it polices thought to a certain extent and expression to a certain extent, and it leads to all these, like, you know, pillories against it as a place about how, oh, I wish I could have latched onto that, about how it's biased in this way or that, and so on and so on and so on. And, you know, I'm not saying that they can't have their opinions, but you got to be very careful if you choose to wade into the battle, because it won't go away. It's right down by the POI. Yeah, I see it here. Nice. Very easy to miss that one. You see lots of social media platforms have to make similar situations. Twitter's gone through a lot of stuff, who it censors and why. Oh, is it because they're too right-wing? Is it because they're too this? This person was more extreme, and yet they haven't had any, you know, restrictions thrown on them. Reddit's had it, you know, the eternal war from a lot of people against a place like, you know, the Donald. But I generally do believe that they should be as hands-off as possible. Of course, that's easier said than done. I'm like way out of my depth on that topic, I'll tell you that much. Dude, I don't like the lag on this. It's probably just the game. I don't think it's the specific content. Or my PC, let me put it that way. But damn. Look how far away the moon looks on this map. Man, I love it. I think being an environment designer would be really fun. In short bursts. Right. Next one. Let's just see if our friend is here. He is. Nice. Or she. On the contrary, what class or elite spec has the best name that does with the theme? I think of a lot of them are probably on par with how good they are. Like, if I hear Deadeye, I think Deadeye is very, very, very true to its idea. And to be honest, I think that ArenaNet in general... Oh, this could be good if I have to, like, climb on the tree to bounce towards it. I think the name feels like it comes a bit later or whatever. Like, they tend to be quite careful about making the whole thing cohesive. Come on, do I get it? Oh, just about did. So yeah, Deadeye's good. Berserker's good. Reaper's good. I think if they ever do add a high movement speed, stealth access Necro, Wraith will be perfect. That's not really answering your question. No, now I'm just in fan theories mode, but still. I think they do very well in general. Some of them are a bit nebulous, like Spellbreaker, like, but it sounds cool, so it works. Man, talking about class names just makes me want to go back to all my little documents about my perfect little MMO, what it would look like, and just keep writing stuff. I love that you said far away and not just smaller. Hey, maybe we're at a different nighttime now as we've traveled up here, and you know it is further away because it's not a perfect circle orbit. You know, it's an ellipse, and it's further away. Yeah, there you go. Next, we're going up here. Honestly, Eramin, you're really, really contributing to the streams here. Yeah, Mirage is very good. Benji offers some good points there. The Mirage is from the desert, glass, yeah, all that stuff, sand. It's interesting that they made the sniper class the thief rather than the ranger. Well, no. That's because you're misinterpreting the word ranger. It's not a ranger as in I use ranged stuff. They have great swords and all kinds of stuff. It's a ranger as in I'm like a wilderman. I travel ranges of terrain. That's what that is. It's definitely more suited to thief. Thieves are sneaky and, you know, they're much more likely to be on the back line as, you know, cloaked in shadows and far off. I think it's definitely a thief thing. I never would have imagined it to go to ranger. Ranger's more about like nature affinity and the wilderness and man meeting his terrain. I don't see anything particularly snipey about that beyond, you know, like camouflaging yourself in some kind of like cave outcropping for weeks or whatever. You haven't played in a while, but you still wanted to support. Thank you so much for that sub. That's really lovely of you. Akin? I can't really see chat too well at the moment. Okay, your name was Arakin. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know what ranger means, WP. I think it's more suited to a survivalist in a forest than a sneaky hitman. All right, yeah. If you, I think that the survivalist side of it's all right. Like we can imagine him like painting mud on his face and covering himself with leaves or whatever. All right, I can buy it for sure. But to me, that's not like a sniper. That's like a hunter, right? We don't talk about sniping animals necessarily, do we? Even if we are using them with long-barreled rifles with the scopes, we don't. I don't know. Why is it sniping feels somehow more to do with the elimination of people or something, or conflict? It's more conflict-driven. Am I wrong about that? Just chewing on the semantics casually here. Oh, it'd be called Manhunter. Hey, yeah, that is a good name for sure. Yeah, if they did Deadeye if they did like Snipey Rifle for Ranger, Manhunter would be very good. Or Predator. Predator would also get my vote. Manhunter maybe if they found more like connection with wild animals a little bit more, and Predator elsewise. And that's the thing with Ranger as well, you know, a lot of the skills is like imbued with animal strength, you know, like what is it, you use Spear 3 and a fucking shark spirit comes out, or you use Greatsword 2 and a bear mauls them, or you know, you kind of get this sense that the animals are helping you. It's an eagle flapping its wings when you Greatsword 3. Yeah, Stalker would work too. Now, I think you could make an MMO with clean, simple, well-made combat that was fun as an RPG is concerned. Could probably support all of those as different classes. It's interesting to me if I don't have this one already. I don't know whether it just bugged. Because this is really obvious, this one. Wait, hold on. Why am I here now? Did we just have a moment where I said I was coming here? No, we didn't. I don't know why I'm here. I was just following the blue dot. I think I've already done this map. We already did Desolation, I'm pretty sure. Cursed Shore is next, which finishes the Orion ones, I think. Unless there's one at Siren's Landing. We'll see. I don't think that there are Season 3 ones, though, right? Only Season 2, 4, and Core. Okay, so Cursed Shore, we are going to Bakir Sarari, east of Grabyon's waypoint. Bakir Sarari. I'm not sure where that is off the top of my head. It's weird scrolling up to get to Ore. Village of Ewan. Bakir Sarari. This one's Grabyon's. Grabyon's, yeah, is where you start the Melandru event. Still got to do these temples, by the way, for the precursor hunts. So if we see that some of them are up, I might just stick about.
You seem venturesome. Are you up for some peregrination?
My peers dawdle with their esoteric analysis while our allies die to the south. I left Ratasum for instrumental action. What would you rather do? Advantageous Arcanum. I don't think so somehow, buddy.
I was dubious of this alliance at first.
Why?
They're military.
I did. I was listening to that because I was like, did I put that in the Let's Play? Did I put it in the Let's Play? And I did put it in the Let's Play. Hello, Jericho. Did you see Joaquin Phoenix's Best Actor Oscar speech? I didn't see his speech. I did watch the movie Joker this week. So I saw how well he played it. He definitely carried that movie for sure. As someone who only recently watched Taxi Driver like a year ago, I think I'm looking a bit less favorably on Joker, because it's essentially the same thing, just a slightly different lens for a different time, right? But and to be honest, as a fan of the DCAU, I kind of prefer Joker as a more of a chaotic entity than the way they justified how he might have come into existence in this movie. Which obviously they have to do, and is going to disappoint in some way if you like the chaos of him in any way. But yeah, overall it was pretty good. I didn't see him at the Oscars though. I'm assuming I can just see a link for that. Does he say something interesting about his art? I was quite disappointed in his interviews and stuff about the movie Her. Because I feel like that was such a profound movie. And I got a lot out of it. And you never want to feel like you got more out of it than the actor themselves was trying to impart. Or the director was trying to impart. And Spike was kind of similar in a way with that movie. Alright. The other two are on this same map, by the way. So, it's pretty good. And one being here. Thank you very much, Everman. What do you think about the tendency for this saga to include more RNG based on unique skins? What's your perspective based from its impact on Mars and the impact of the health of the game? As far as the health of the game is concerned, I think it's very good. I think it means that the maps will have more life to them and more monetary incentive to them for much longer. And I think the cherry on top for the health of the game, ArenaNet, I know you've done it 100 times before, but I really believe you should look at dailies soon. And there should be like... You remember I said in the video recently about the new Drakkar weapons? And how it would be nice to have another mechanic or another incentive? I would really, really like to see daily... Instead of Claw of Jormag, it's daily Labyrinthine caves or whatever in Drakkar Lake. And you get a chest which basically double... the chest that you get from it is the same loot that you would get from the actual content itself, but with a higher chance to get whatever the ultra rare thing is. So, for example, the 9,000 gold racial char helmet from the Grothmar strike. Fuck. It would be really cool if, like, once every 2 months there was a daily to do that strike mission, and you had higher chance of getting the thing. Not that it destroys the economy, but it pushes players there. I think they've got a lot of... This infrastructure is just like the guild infrastructure. It's really good, but it needs someone who understands and cares about Guild Wars to take a second and think what cool incentives and places they could put in. Right now, it's just a little bit too waffly, and it's not specific enough with the stuff that it does. So all those like RNG rewards, as they add them, all those little things. Tech weapons, Aurene weapons from last season, any stuff like that. I think they could all key into dailies in a really smart way. And I would do the daily very much. Even after I've already unlocked the skin, you know. That shit would be very good. You know, just like a sense of getting like triple or whatever the appropriate number is loot on X Ultra Rare for this period of 24 hours. And if they filter out the game with a lot more of that kind of stuff, it will be in a very healthy place. And it will feel like even maps like Siren's Landing have more of a place because they have this stuff going on. So I think that's good. As far as Master's concerned, I think it's been damaging to Master for me. I no longer really believe I'll get all the skins, which was a big thing I was excited to do. I can mostly believe I might be able to get one of the skins, which would also be cool, but hey. I've still never climbed on top of one of those arches. Yeah, and like end of the season, they can filter in the new dailies or something. But, you know, it's the kind of thing they've got to keep on top on a little bit more. I think last time we saw... and they have spent a long time messing with daily stuff. And they do get criticism from me that, you know, they spend too long... Wait. No, I've never really criticised that. I tell a lie. I was going to say that they get criticism for spending too long on systems. But the issue is the reverse. Wow, I've never had a sky scale forcibly crash me into the water. That was pretty cool. It's the reverse with Guild Wars most of the time. I mean, not really. In another sense, it kind of has been a problem of them just going over and going over and laying foundation and laying foundation and laying foundation. But that's what I consider the most recent daily thing, where they added these chests. Now let's have a look at the chest of the hero now. Add some more variety. Key into all that beautiful stuff you did. Like, there should be some kind of ultra rare thing from the Gandara meta, for example. And there should be one day in a month or every 2 months where it's a really good idea to go back to Gandara. And it's like, fuck yeah. And that map is like alive. Do you know what I mean? I actually think the best solution would be to have weeklies. And those are like, you know, so it's weekly Gandara, and then it's weekly Bura, and then it's weekly this, the weekly Lake Doric or whatever. But, you know, that might be too much. What classes would I have in my perfect MMO? Also, how many classes would I have? I've done a lot of writing about this before. I would be too embarrassed to show it to you all. But I would have a kind of a MapleStory-ish system where you start off as like almost like a beginner designation. And as you play the game, you can specialize as you level up. And you get these... Oh, let me not compare it to MapleStory. Let me compare it to Final Fantasy 1. In Final Fantasy 1, way later in the game, you meet a dragon, and you've been a red mage the whole time, and now you become the red wizard, right? And you get new stuff, and it's like you've got a new class. You've developed upon your class. And MapleStory used to do that with its adventure classes and stuff like that. I really like that format. And what I would basically do... I mean, I don't want to talk about this. I'd be nervous. I've written a lot about this before. But I like the idea of having disciplines. And a discipline is like a bucket of classes. So you could have like a fighter discipline. And you pick at the start of the game that you are going to be a fighter. And then you can change your class to a variety of other classes within that discipline. So within there would be like a knight. And there'd be like, you know, a warrior, and then maybe later there'd be a paladin, and then like way later, like maybe you'd have a really advanced one that's like a, you know, a battle mage or a sentinel or a paragon or shit like that, right? But those are that's like a discipline. Another one would be like the mage's discipline, where you'd have like pyromancers and, you know, mesmery kind of characters and necromancers. They don't all have to be mancers, you know, an illusionist and shit like that. You could have like dark artists, and you could, as another discipline, you could have like adventurers as another. You could have like rogues and like thieves and tomb robbers and shit like that.